It came in tan. It came in white. And came in black. So I have a wide range of demographics who watch my videos, which I love. I love that there are people my youngest daughter's age watching and people my parents' age watching. So when I say this, I hope everyone gets the reference. Vintage sewing machines for me is like Pokemon. You gotta catch them all. Is it a problem? Is it a collection? I don't know. I watched a lot of Martha Stewart in the early 2000s, and she taught a lot about collecting, the art of collecting. And I actually collected this a bit before I actually found this one at Goodwill. I had been on the lookout for a black model because I had the white Featherweight as my first experience, and from what I've read online, a lot of people said that the black build was a better one than the white build. So I had to know. So I got this at an estate sale. It is a 1937 Singer 221 Featherweight. And I'm actually gonna sew a project today. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a pattern from 1937 that I wanted to make, so I'm going to make one of my favorite patterns by one of my favorite pattern makers, Gretchen Hirsch, also known as Gertie from charmpatterns.com. I'll put a link below. It is one of her most versatile patterns, the night and day dress, and I am going to do it Halloween themed. But first, let's look to see what this old gal came with. Since this is one of the earlier models, the Featherweight actually went into production in 1933, so this is only 4 years after they started producing this machine. There's a whole timeline available on the featherweightshop.com if you want to read up into the history. This is not particularly a fancy machine, but it does have some really cool features on here. I do not have the school bell bobbin winder version, but my tension disc does have the numbers. So there's some really cool upgrades here that happen within the first 4 years of production. So I have a black box. This is the original box. And let's look to see what I got with it. I kind of love it when previous owners put in like little articles talking about like matching seams. Ultra suede seams use a special method. This is from the Seattle Times. I am local to the Seattle area, so this is logical. These are fun. I like to look at these myself. So this is the manual that it comes with. There are a ton of Singer branded needles and elastic and all kinds of bits and bobs. Quite a bit of thread. Singer templates for the buttonholers. They're all in here. No eyelet though. I know. I'm not that lucky. I think all my luck was spent on finding that tan Featherweight at Goodwill. So there are a lot of attachments in here. I'll have to go through to see and look up a few because they're, you know, like I know what a ruffler is. I know a few things here. Oh. Singer motor lubricant. Holy crap. That's really cool. It's really gross, but very cool. And I personally love this. I have a nice little collection going of the canned oil. I just love it. It's kind of a sentimental feeling to me because I remember this in my own home. I just remember, you know, on the shelf. Love that. Okay. And this came with a buttonholer. I actually already have this version, but I do like that it is a dedicated one for this machine. We have more buttonhole templates here and the buttonholer itself. And if you've never used one of these, your life will be changed forever. I love mine. I use mine on my 2012. This one's in really nice condition. You know, I really love that old font too. Really cool. And this actually came with the manual for the button holder, so that's really cool. And then we have the pedal and power cord, and that's it. So the box is all black. It has a really cool, like, Art Deco-y kind of print. I don't know if you can see it for there. So the only thing that I saw wrong with this machine so far is that there is a tiny, tiny piece of the receptacle broken off down here. And I guess that's a common thing to happen. It does not affect the use of the machine. It's just, you know, it's not pristine condition. None of my machines really are. And I kind of like them that way. It shows that they have been used. And I know I had previously mentioned about my tan Featherweight. Since it's not running the way I want it to, it is going to be shelved because it is such a precious machine that I want to take some time with that. A lot of the times I'm kind of in a rush to show you guys what I'm doing, but I really didn't feel good about that with that machine. And it definitely goes against my you should use it rule in life. So far, I'm going to use this girl. And let's do a little light cleaning and begin our project.
Okay, silly me. I happened to be watching the TV series Yellowstone while I was filming that, and we don't need cowboy talk during a cleaning here for your viewing pleasure. But this is what I normally do. I do very, light surface cleaning just with sewing machine oil. I rubber down, make sure there's nothing weird and sticky on there. I also have made it a habit to clean the tension assembly. I have found it that there is lint buildup often behind the discs and springs in particular, and this one actually had quite a bit of buildup around the spring. Then I also checked underneath the plate where the needle bar and dog feeds are. And this one also had quite a bit of lint buildup. And then finally, I always check now the bobbin assembly down below. I learned from my tan Featherweight that there can, and there often are, stray threads down there that will screw you up. And this one, I needed to change the brushes on this. And it went very smoothly. They popped right out, and I popped the new ones in that I purchased from the Featherweight shop. And that's about it. I like to do at least that much. Of course, hit the oiling and grease spots that is recommended to you in the manual. And again, I cannot stress it enough. Just check out the manual and follow the instructions. Okay, I have a massive bummer update. I got her cleaned, all ready to go, changed the brushes and everything, oiled, greased her, and I am using my tan Featherweight's power cord and pedal because I have misplaced, I've managed to misplace her pedal in a matter of 24 hours. I've torn up the whole sewing room. I'm going crazy looking for it, but I'm going crazy because this gal is not sewing at all. But my project needs to get done, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my wee white lass Sally because I know she sews. I'm just really bummed because I was looking forward to test driving this one just to see the difference between the 221K and the regular Featherweight here. So these Featherweights have been killing me lately, friends. It's been rough. Okay, and just to show what's happening, so if I hit the pedal, nothing, but you can hear the motor, like power going to the motor, but nothing's happening. So this might be a motor rebuild. Like I said, I have to investigate further. I am not a Featherweight expert. I want to be a Featherweight enthusiast. But so far, it's not happening for me. All right, we're a chain of command change here. Sally reigns supreme as my #1 Featherweight still. Maybe she's a little jealous and she's sending out some vibes to my other Featherweights like, no, I'm here. I'm #1. So
Let's sew this dress. I love a good bedsheet dress. You get so much fabric for so little and it feels wonderful. This is 100% cotton, so it feels great. So I have lots to do with this. So I got this through an estate sale, as I mentioned, and I paid around $300 for it. I'd have to look up the exact number with taxes and everything, but you know, when the opportunity arises, you have to take it, and I did. I didn't really have time for this project, and I was hopeful. I was hopeful that I would just be able to unpack and sew, and that was not the case, and sometimes it's just like that. My luck so far with featherweights has been odd. I have been lucky to find them. However, I haven't been really lucky to just immediately sew with them. My white featherweight is still the queen, and I actually really enjoy sewing with her. She did an excellent job on this dress. You know, I hope after some other things settle for me, I'll be able to make a really good project out of this, and I will of course bring you along this journey. If you have any motor experience with a featherweight, I know there are many videos out there, and I'm aware of all of the wonderful instructors out there. I love Sewing Machine Rehab. She breaks it out in bits, which is easy to follow if I'm just trying to focus in on stuff there. But I really love to learn from somebody who actually sews with their machine, so they can actually tell me if they've experienced something during mid-project, or if you've owned this for a lifetime, or if this was your mom's and you went on to sew with it since the 1970s. I trust people who have had working experience, and not to invalidate others who just teach, but you know, sometimes the users have a little extra knowledge to give. I'm so thankful for all of the tips that I've received from all of you so far, and I already know a few things that I'm going to try. Maybe I tightened down the brush screws a little too tight. Maybe I need to switch out the belt. I just, you know, some things that take a little bit of time, and unfortunately Halloween is upon us, and I had to get this done. And my white featherweight, she did an amazing job. As always, thanks for watching, and bye for now. Okay, real quick. So this is my main girl, my 301 long bed. I love this machine. This is my favorite machine. But side by side, you guys, it's so pretty, so cute. I'm very hopeful to just like have them side by side to use them in the future. Someday it will happen for me. You know, I'm beginning to understand my dad, who was a antique car collector, and I always kind of wondered why he had all these machines or these things, you know, car parts and stuff laying around, and now I get it. Now I really get it. So it's really difficult when it's around the holidays and you're a grandmother for the first time during Christmas. So there are sewing projects to be had, and I am going to find some affordable ones because, you know, all of us are paying high grocery bills right now here in the United States and probably the UK too. And we could use a break, but be thoughtful with gift giving. So look forward to that. It's very Beetlejuice vibes, but not. I love this stripe. And I'm not really an instructor. I fancy myself as a collector and user. I'm like the home ec lady that knows a little something because she's kicked and beat that machine a few times, but she can sew a mean dress. That's me. Last year it was viral to carve, you know, get your chickens to carve a pumpkin. Maybe it was the year before that. I have no idea. No concept of time. But yeah, here we are. They've managed to get most of it. Right, Moki? She's camera shy. But this is their current activity since it's been a little, you know, gray and cloudy.